Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
So all are in academic environment, and it's always a pleasure when we share each other's research interest. So thanks. I would like to thank the director of HRDC, the Office of Gujarat University, for giving me a platform to interact with you and share my thoughts related to cloud computing. I would also thank the staff of HRDC for facilitating this online session. So thanks to all. Uh, Cloud computing is a buzzword nowadays. In fact, when we talk about computer science, there are three buzzwords. Most of the people are aware of machine learning, AI and machine learning. So that is one of the buzzwords. Other is data science and data analytics. And the third is cloud computing. Cloud computing research started way back, maybe before 10, 15 years. But nowadays, all of us, maybe directly or indirectly, we are using cloud computing. If you took COVID vaccine, if any one of us has taken the COVID vaccine, you might have seen the portal, online portal, which was supported by cloud. Most of the university websites are also running on cloud. So cloud is an accepted technology by all of us. Directly or indirectly, all of us are stakeholders of cloud computing. So it's a buzzword. AI, machine learning, data science, they are another buzzwords. I would like to stick to cloud computing. Uh, we'll see how cloud computing got evolved. So my session can be divided into two halves. One half will be history related to cloud. Another half will be related to technologies of cloud. And if time permits, I'll try to show how computer science professionals they work with cloud computing. Cloud computing, no doubt, it's a very, very technical subject, but I'll try to make it digestible. And especially those who are from computer science or IT related background, then I'll share some other points through which you can also use cloud computing. So during the session, I'll keep my video off and I'll try to share my PPTs. Okay, so the topic is evolution of cloud computing, which means how cloud computing evolved. My official email address is Hardik Joshi at gujaratuniversity.ac.in. So, in case of any query, I'll be happy to resolve them through this website. I'm not sharing my phone number since it's our exam season. We are conducting daily, we are occupied in exam. I won't be able to take your phone calls for maybe next 10-15 days. So, today I'll try to address uh, topics like evolution of cloud computing. We'll talk how cloud computing came into business. I'll talk about environment of cloud, certain services, and some technical words that are related to cloud computing. So I'll try to justify myself why I am into cloud computing. I am teaching cloud computing since 2010. So in earlier days, see, we all are in a research area. So earlier, when new technologies they come, we try to find out how it suits in education. So before cloud started, we were into cloud computing research. Gradually, it became a technology which can be taught and which is accepted by industry. So since, as I said, I was in research of cloud computing, I have few publications in this area. AWS is Amazon Web Service, which is one of the leader of cloud. I'm associated with Amazon since 7-8 years, and I'm AWS ambassador. So AWS has given me an opportunity to work with them to explore their infrastructure, and that's why I'm an ambassador. uh, I'm not marketing AWS, but I do promote education through AWS. I have been associated with industries, so I know few projects which are working on cloud. I got an opportunity to work as a jury member for national skills competition. So I selected students for international competition. The students whom I selected as a jury, they participated in Russia for international skill competition. And I'm a community member, a volunteer or a member. So I try to keep myself updated with cloud technologies through certain communities like Amazon community, Google developer community or Google developer group, Alexa community. So there are a lot of communities, and in community, we try to share each other's experiences. This is an academic session, so I have taken liberty to take certain images from website, Google Images. As far as I know, they are not copyrighted, but in case if it's copyrighted, I'm using fair share policy, so it's okay to use in education purpose. There are a lot of technologies, but I'll try to give example of Amazon Web Service. Anyway, I am not marketing Amazon Web Service, but since it's a widely adopted technology, I'll try to stick to one technology rather than talking about Microsoft, Google, different technologies. I'll talk in terms of AWS, that is Amazon Web Service. So let us start with the history. The history of computing, it starts in during World War. There was war between Great Britain and Germany. So this is when computing evolved. Those were the days when computation started. This small device which you see on your screen, it's like a typewriter, that is Enigma. This was used by German soldiers, Enigma machine. It was used for encryption. So whenever Germans they wanted to share confidential messages, they used to communicate with wireless technology. Earlier there was no computing, so we can't think of internet. So this was the machine, Enigma machine, through which they were encrypting the data. Say for example, if I want to say send me $100, then when I encrypt, it becomes some other text message which cannot be read. So this kind of typewriter, which is known as Enigma, it was used for encryption of messages, and it was used by Germans, that is Hitler. This is the machine which is found in museum. So as you can see here, there is a keyboard. When you type on A, some other character will get lighten up. There will be a light, and you can see some other character. So whenever whatever characters you type, you will see light on some other characters. That is how encryption decryption was done. They used rotors internally. You can see on the side there are gears, rotors. So these rotors they were used to make different combinations. These rotors they were adjusted. So if I am typing A, it might give me some character, let us say X. Another time if I type A, then it will give some other character, let's say Y, Z, or maybe PQ, any other character. So every time when if even though if I type the same character A, I will get different character as output. So that is encryption. So this is a very complicated electrical and mechanical machine which was designed by Germans to send encrypted messages. This is one of the research papers which shows how the rotors were used. They were creating 26 factorial combinations. I have highlighted. So these many different combinations were possible. The red box, it shows combination. So during this World War, they were using rotors. Every time they had some other output, and it was a very huge number. Now, in opposite side, against German, there was Great Britain. Winston Churchill. This is the photograph of Winston Churchill. Somehow he wanted the Germans to lose. Germans were led by Hitler. So it was a war against Hitler and Winston Churchill. So what Winston Churchill did, he started creating a team. He recruited one person known as Alan Turing. You can see his photograph, the black and white photograph on top of screen. So he recruited Alan Turing. He was a good mathematician, and Alan Turing later recruited few people. The group image is those who participated in that event. So this entire team was created. The team was made up of electrical engineers, psychologists, language experts. The main objective of this team was to decrypt the messages. Whatever messages were sent by Germans, these Britishers used to capture those messages. Since it was wireless, you can easily capture those messages, and they tried to decrypt the messages. जो भी हिडन मैसेज एनिग्मा से भेजते थे, उनको ये लोग डिक्रिप्ट करने की ट्राई करते थे. The location was known as Bletchley Park. The building you see at the back, that is where they used to work. This is the current photo, recent photo. These people in earlier days, they might be very young, but now all of them are grown up. They are old age people. And the entire team, they used to work in Bletchley Park. So the area that is known as Bletchley Park, that old building, they used to sit and work in that old building. And the team was led by Alan Turing. So they were trying to create a computer which could decrypt the messages of Germans. So this is the computer which they were creating. If you see, then there are rotors in this computer. If you see the top line, second line, there are rotors. So it was anti-Enigma. Enigma also had rotors. This computer is supposed to be the first computer, and there are rotors which were used for decrypting the messages. Now you just see how large the computer is. It would take almost one room to accommodate this entire computer. And this was electromechanical computer. When I say electromechanical, means there are mechanical devices and electricity is used, electronics and electricity, to power this computer. So Alan Turing, he created this computer which was known as bomb, BOMBE, bomb, and it was specifically created to decrypt the messages. आजकल के जो कंप्यूटर होते हैं वो मल्टीपर्पज होते हैं. You can do lot of things: audio, video, PowerPoint, Word, programming. Lot of things can be done in today's computer, but in the earlier days, only one task was accomplished, that was to decrypt the messages. Later, they upgraded this bomb computer into Colossus. Now, as you see, this is Colossus computer, which was second generation of bomb. अगर आपको बल्ब जैसा कुछ दिखता है, those are diodes. On the right side, there are diodes, and you can see lot of wiring is there. All this wiring is now replaced by PCBs, printed circuit boards. There are integrated circuits, ICs जिसको बोलते हैं. So most of the wiring, it has been reduced in modern computers, but this is the very foremost computer. So such computers were created by Alan Turing and his team. There is a movie titled Imitation Game, which is on the life of Alan Turing. So if you get chance and if you happen to watch this movie, The Imitation Game, then the entire story is nicely depicted in this movie. Since Alan Turing was the genius of mathematics and computing, we have a Turing Award. Turing Award is equivalent to Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize is given in sciences, humanities. In computer science, Turing Award, it is almost similar to Nobel Prize. So whoever is good computation expert, who has done good research in computing, they are given Turing Award in the name of this person, Alan Turing. So this is how computation started. When you see huge computers which fit in one room. They take lot of power, lot of heat is generated, lot of noise is made. So those were the earlier days when computing started. And the man behind computation is Alan Turing. Artificial intelligence, the credit also goes to this person. Then there is another story where one professor and his student, they were developing a computer. Now this computer was claimed is supposed to be the first digital computer. The earlier computer, Alan Turing's computer, was mechanical, electrical kind of computer. Atanasoff and Berry, both of them, they were professor and student. They created a small device, size of refrigerator maybe, which was the first digital computer. So it was used to solve linear equations. The Gaussian method and all those methods, they tried to solve using ABC computer. It said that ABC is the first digital computer. ABC comes from Atanasoff Berry. ABC. Later, 50s, 60s, and so on, there were time sharing systems. When we say time sharing, means there was one powerful computer, we call it mainframe. Small computers known as dumb clients, they were attached to mainframe, like railway reservation. If you have observed 10, 20 years back, IRCTC, the railway reservation was done using such kind of dumb terminals. The dumb terminals, they are simple computers without any hard disk. There is no hard disk. They have very less processing power. So all the processing, all data is saved on mainframes. Most of the computation is done on mainframe. You can imagine it's a huge computer with lot of disk space, and the dumb terminals are used only for data entry purpose. So these systems, they were known as time sharing systems. So once the time sharing systems appeared, then the computation was becoming cheaper. Cost of devices was going down. Even I remember when I purchased my first computer in 1999, it was around 60,000 rupees. Even today, if you purchase computer, it may cost you 30, 40,000 with quite good processing power. So in earlier days, computation was expensive. The hardware was very expensive. So people used one mainframe. The expensive part was mainframe, and there were dumb terminals. Those were known as clients, thin client or dumb terminals, and they were cheap, very cheap computers. आजकल तो ऐसा है कि ये सब म्यूजियम जैसा लगेगा. फ्लॉपी डिस्क भी गायब हो गई. देर इज नो फ्लॉपी डिस्क. मे बी 10 years down the line, CDs won't be seen everywhere. CD drives are almost not available in modern computers. So that is how hardware is developing. As hardware develops, it becomes small in size and becomes cheaper. Why we call time sharing system? Because see, if there are three users, each user will get 33% of CPU. So mainframe's CPU was shared among users. यहाँ पे sharing का concept आया. Multiple users, they are using the same system, so they are sharing the system. That's why we call time sharing system. Even if there is one processor, each user will get 33% of processing power. और let's say अगर 10 सेकेंड का टाइम है तो हर एक यूजर को 3-3 सेकेंड या 3.3 सेकेंड जितना टाइम मिलता है अपना प्रोग्राम रन करने के लिए. सो दे वर नोन एज टाइम शेयरिंग सिस्टम. So this is how sharing concept came into picture. Sharing of resources, sharing of computation power, ये तब से आया. Even in cloud computing, we use sharing. Resource sharing is one of the key concept of cloud computing. Then somewhere in 80s, IBM came with personal computer. आजकल के जो computers हम लोग use करते हैं, we call them personal computers, or they are also known as IBM PC. These are for personal computing tasks. So small document processing and all these things, they can be done on personal computing. Even the laptop or desktop that you are using today, they fall under the category of personal computers. So what you are using today is also IBM PC, and that's how Microsoft Windows and everything started developing. So nowadays everyone needs computation and everyone is using cloud. This is a graphic animation picture cartoon. 1925 there was no computation, everything was on paper. uh, if you recall, earlier banks, they had huge ledgers, huge books. They used to store almost all information in books. Earlier libraries, catalogs were card based systems. So from 1925 to 1985, gradually from paper based, we went into paperless systems. Recently, 2015, we were using laptops, and 2020 onwards, most of the communication, most of the video meetings, everything is on smartphones. So, this is how computer science is evolving along with the hardware. Now, why this happens? Because it's our nature. We need more. कुछ भी है ज़्यादा चाहिए. We need more facilities. We need more resources. We need more memory, more storage, lot of things. So that is how, this is one of the main reasons why computation has evolved. If we talk in terms of technocrats, then if he's a gamer, he will need fast processor, he will need more RAM, good graphics card. So there is no end to this need. Whenever we say more, then there is no end. I will share two case studies why cloud computing is required. Usually, when we say cloud computing, generally it is a concept that it's about servers or it is about data. So I'll give one a few examples where cloud computing comes at help. There are two aspects. One is innovation, other is commercial. इनोवेशन मतलब अपने जैसे जो रिसर्चर्स होते हैं. I'll discuss my case study. In my research, I needed lot of computation. So that's how I required cloud computing. Even in businesses, they need cloud computing. So we'll consider both the cases. And they run in, you see, commercial research, both they run in parallel. Earlier, there was more research required for cloud. And gradually, as of today, commercial practices have increased on cloud compared to research. आजकल बिजनेस के अंदर क्लाउड का यूज ज्यादा होता है, रिसर्च में इतना नहीं होता. अर्लियर डेज रिसर्च में क्लाउड का यूज ज्यादा होता था. इफ यू सी द ग्राफ, मोर सुपर कंप्यूटर्स वर यूज्ड इन रिसर्च. Nowadays, research and business, commercial, they use super computers. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि मीटियोरोलॉजिकल डेटा है. whenever there are cyclones, weather prediction, weather forecasting, then it is kind of research area where they need supercomputing power. First, let us talk about innovation. This is my real research project. This I started in somewhere in 2008 or 9. I collected 10 years of Gujarat Samachar articles. Gujarat Samachar is a leading newspaper of Gujarat. I was building a search engine. In earlier days, I was building a Gujarati search engine. Nowadays, there is Google, but in those days, Google was not supporting Gujarati search. So I was creating my own Gujarati search engine. I collected 10 years of articles. There were approximately 3 lakh documents. Each article was approx 200 words. So just try to imagine the size of corpus. I had 3 lakh documents and each document is of 200 words. So imagine how many words total collection I had made. Now, if I'm looking for a word earthquake, if I want to search articles related to earthquake on a small machine, it used to take lot of time. This is the last line is quite comparative. अगर आपका हार्डवेयर अच्छा है कम टाइम मिलेगा. If hardware is not so good, you will take more time. So earlier days, 4 GB computers were considered to be good systems, and it used to take 10 to 12 hours of indexing for searching of earthquake word. दिस इज अ सिंपल क्वेरी. मैंने एक सर्च इंजन बनाया, अर्थक्वेक वर्ड डालता हूँ तो मुझे रिजल्ट्स आते थे, लेकिन उसका जो प्रोसेसिंग था, इंडेक्स बनाना वगैरह, इट टुक लॉट ऑफ टाइम. नाउ सपोज इफ आई यूज कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ वर्ड्स अर्थक्वेक एंड कच, it still takes more time. So you can see, just for small number 3 lakh documents, it is taking lot of time. Actual world wide web is very large. You cannot imagine web, वर्ल्ड वाइड वेब कितना, कितनी वेबसाइट से कितना डेटा है. किसी ने ट्राई की थी वर्ल्ड वाइड वेब की कॉपी करने के लिए ईयर्स बैक. द डेटा वाज 25 टेराबाइट्स. अगेन आई एम टॉकिंग 10 years back. Nowadays data is in terms of petabytes. Each hard disk, suppose if it is of 1 terabyte, then when we say petabytes means 1000 plus hard disk. So it is unimaginable. The amount of data on World Wide Web is unimaginable. And today, Google, Bing, Yahoo, they are all archiving all this data, or they are building indexes of data for search engine. So this is one example where we need more storage, super fast networking, supercomputers kind of systems. Now let us come to business aspect. कमर्शियल में कहाँ पे ज्यादा पावर वगैरह चाहिए. Amazon is a widely used website, amazon.com. Earlier it was being used for creating bookshop, online bookshop जैसा था. Gradually they started with other objects. In 2012 there were 306 transactions per second. So just imagine, each second they were selling 306 products. Way back 10 साल पहले, each second there were 306 transactions. So in a day there were around 26.5 million transactions. This is an estimate I got from some website. So Amazon is dealing with lot of customers and lot of transactions. In August 2013, exactly 10 years back, the Amazon server was down. हैंग हो गया या कुछ भी हो गया, Amazon server was down for 40 minutes and they had a huge business loss, $5 million loss. Nowadays it is still more critical. आजकल अगर Amazon का सर्वर या कोई बड़ी कंपनी का सर्वर डाउन होता है, लेट अस से Facebook, Amazon, Flipkart, whatever, if it is down, their share prices will go down. 1% share prices going down is also a huge amount. So these companies, they cannot afford downtime. Amazon, Google, Facebook, even if it is down for 1 minute, naturally their share prices will go down and they will face issues. So what is the solution? Solution is cloud computing. This is another documented Amazon Prime Day 2019 में हुआ, before COVID. Excuse me. Just try to imagine, Prime Day they started with 372,000 servers. Amazon had 372,000 servers. And as the day started, gradually they had to increase up to 426,000 servers. Amazon अकेले के पास इतने सारे सर्वर्स है. K means 1000. 372,000 servers start हुए. And as load started, when people started logging it, they had 426,000 servers running. The data they were dealing was 63 petabytes of data, 2.1 trillion requests. The amount of data that was transferred was 185 petabytes of data, 1900 database instances. In Gujarat University, we have hardly 2 3 database instances. Our Gujarat University admission, exam, everything is running on just 2 or 3 database instances. Whereas Amazon created 1900 database instances and they had around 148 billion transactions. So you see, these are very huge numbers, unimaginable. इतने सारे servers, इतना data, it is unimaginable. The only thing is they have to ensure everything is running perfectly. बीच में कुछ भी hang नहीं होना चाहिए. So this is one commercial use where cloud computing was needed. They need lot of servers, lot of data transactions. So this is a type of big data problem. हम लोग big data कहते हैं. Big data means you cannot imagine the size of data. Big data is associated with 3 V's: volume, variety. तो कुछ भी वैरायटी का डेटा होगा, कितना भी डेटा होगा और कितनी भी स्पीड से आएगा, वेलोसिटी, मींस यू गेट लॉट ऑफ डेटा विथ अनइमेजिनेबल वैरायटी, इमेज, वीडियो, ऑडियो, कुछ भी हो सकता है, then that is big data problem. So earlier days there was big data issue. Nowadays we have infrastructure to handle such big data problems. Thankfully there is cloud computing through which that can be done. So usually when we say cloud infrastructure, there are huge data centers. If you go through YouTube videos, you will find lot of videos related to data centers. So Amazon, they have their own data center. Google, they have their own data center. And let us say we call it cloud infrastructure. Data center is not only about data. When we say cloud infrastructure, we have lot of processors, lot of other devices, storage devices, network, graphics card, and lot of things. This is one of my favorite slide. We have mandap services in Gujarat. You will find it everywhere. So suppose there is some event, occasion. Suppose there is someone's marriage. Then you hire chair, tables, and everything. We use on rental basis. So suppose if you are inviting 200 guests, you will request mandap services to give 200 chairs and you will be billed accordingly. If you take 200 chairs per day, they will charge say 10 rupees. So 200 into 10, you will give them 2000 rupees for one day. If you need chair for 3 days, you will give 200 into 10 into 3 for 3 days. So you will give them 6000 rupees. So you are renting for some purpose. Once your purpose is over, you are giving them back. So this is kind of model which is used by cloud. Even in cloud computing, you will be using their servers. Amazon or Google, we rent their servers, we use them for some time, and then once our usage is over, we release the resources. I hope everyone is familiar with mandap services, decoration and all this. So they give you the resources on rental basis. Once you use them, again the resources goes back to them. Similar is with cloud computing. Cloud computing, we use the resources for some time. Once our usage is over, they are released. So you will be billed only for the time you use those resources. आपका जो बिलिंग है, आपने जितने टाइम रिसोर्स यूज किया उतना ही होगा. The more you use, more billing is there. Okay, so how actually the data centers are organized? See, generally supercomputers are like this. In a single computer, you will find multiple CPUs. This is the old supercomputer. Way back, 20, 30 years back, these were the supercomputers where multiple processors, CPU 1, 2, 3, they are connected with a common bus, or they are housed in a common uh, box. So this is one model of supercomputer. Cray company is a leader of supercomputing. Cray, Cray, it's a US company. They create huge supercomputers for weather forecasting. Even in stock market, they need such kind of supercomputers. Airline scheduling is also done on supercomputers. Some kind of simulation, nuclear simulation, can also be done on supercomputers. Now, US is, they are rich people, so they can afford supercomputers. They can afford this architecture. A similar kind of architecture nowadays is available on mobile phones. Instead of CPUs, now we have मोबाइल फोन्स विथ मल्टी कोर प्रोसेसर. जब हम कहते हैं क्वाड कोर, ऑक्टा कोर, when your mobile has quad core processor, it means one CPU is made up of four different sub CPUs, or let us say cores. So earlier days, what used to be supercomputers, now it is in your pocket. Mobile phones, they are variants of supercomputers. This is my first supercomputer. I created a supercomputer somewhere in 2004-5. I was a faculty with Bhavnagar University. So the head of the department was quite liberal. He gave me certain CPUs. I interconnected these CPUs to create a supercomputer. This is not the real photo. I had a setup of this kind. So this is network supercomputer. We cannot afford a huge processing power like Cray and all those. So we create our own smaller scale supercomputers. So it's popularly known as poor man's supercomputer, or the other name is Beowulf's cluster computer. These are clusters. So एक बहुत ही आसान तरीका, आप अपने 4-5 लैब के कंप्यूटर्स को इंटर कनेक्ट कर दो, तो आपको 4 गुना ज्यादा स्पीड मिलेगी. ऐसा कुछ एजम्पशन है. अगर आपके 10 सीपीयू है, 10 सीपीयू मतलब जो लैब के कंप्यूटर्स है, 10 कंप्यूटर्स को इंटर कनेक्ट करो नेटवर्क से, तो आपको 10 गुना सीपीयू पावर मिलेगा, 10 गुनी हार्ड डिस्क स्पेस मिलेगी. नेटवर्क इज अ बॉटलनेक. नेटवर्क फास्ट है तो अच्छा, नेटवर्क इज स्लो तो काम नहीं चलेगा इतना. तो पुअर मैन सुपर कंप्यूटर, और ऑल्टरनेट इट इज नोन एज क्लस्टर कंप्यूटिंग. दिस इज वेयर common person started building supercomputers. So this is the photo of my department where I had created a supercomputer, so-called supercomputer, which was a Beowulf cluster way back in 2004 and 5. And in those days, they were known as cluster computing. Now, when multiple clusters are integrated, we call it grid. Technically, grid is a combination of clusters. So let us assume one cluster is created at Bhavnagar, another cluster is created at Ahmedabad, one cluster is at Delhi. When you try to integrate these clusters, then we call grid. Grid का advantage क्या है? Suppose a Delhi person sitting in Delhi submits a program, it may execute on my Ahmedabad's computer. If a program is submitted on Delhi's computer, दिल्ली में कुछ प्रोग्राम रन करना है, एक्चुअल में वो रन कहाँ पे हो सकता है? अहमदाबाद में भी हो सकता है, भावनगर में भी हो सकता है, या दिल्ली में भी हो सकता है. सेम प्रोग्राम कैन बी एग्जीक्यूटेड एट एनी ज्योग्राफिकल लोकेशन. सो दैट वाज द ब्यूटी ऑफ ग्रिड. आपके प्रोग्राम्स या डेटा मूव होने लगा. फ्रॉम वन प्लेस योर डेटा कैन मूव टू अनदर प्लेस, टू थर्ड प्लेस एंड सो ऑन, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द अवेलेबिलिटी. तो जहाँ पे लोड कम है, जहाँ पे सिस्टम्स फ्री पड़े हैं, वहां पे वो प्रोग्राम जाके रन हो जाता है. सो दिस इज एन एडवांस्ड लेवल ऑफ शेयरिंग ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नोन एज ग्रिड. ग्रिड वर्ड, पावर ग्रिड आपने सुना होगा. पावर ग्रिड मीन्स यू गेट पावर फ्रॉम समवेयर. वी नेवर नो फ्रॉम विच थर्मल स्टेशन यू आर गेटिंग पावर. आपके घर में पंखा होगा, ट्यूबलाइट होगी, तो दे आर ऑल पावर्ड, इलेक्ट्रिकली पावर्ड बाय समवेयर. कहीं और से उसका पावर आता होगा. That is grid computing, which evolved after cluster computing. ISRO and all premier research institutes, they had created their own grid earlier days. They used to call Garuda. CDEC, ISRO, सब लोगों ने grid बनाई थी. Even I was part of that team. So earlier days we used to work on grid computing, जहाँ पे heterogeneous computers. देखिए क्लस्टर के अंदर, when we talk about clusters, all computers are of similar type. Make and model are of similar type. In grid computers, you can connect any computer with any other computer. So when we use grid computing, it is heterogeneous. Any kind of computer can be connected with other type of computers. Now, grid computing came with an idea of resource sharing. Resources can be shared easily across geographical location. आई होप आई एम मेकिंग इट क्लियर. ज्यादा टेक्निकल तो नहीं हो रहा.
So perfectly fine. No
Okay.
stress.
It's okay, sir.
Yeah, because I've started using some technical terminology, so I was wondering.
No, sir, it's going great, sir.
Okay, thank you. तो ग्रिड कंप्यूटिंग के अंदर आपका कंप्यूटेशन पावर कहीं से भी हो सकता है. मतलब अगर मैं अहमदाबाद में प्रोग्राम सबमिट करता हूं, तो वो बेंगलोर के अंदर भी रन हो जाता है इफ दे आर कनेक्टेड थ्रू ग्रिड. मतलब मैंने एक बिल जनरेशन का प्रोग्राम है. मुझे अपने एरिया के 50,000 कस्टमर्स के बिल जनरेट करने हैं. तो वो प्रोग्राम मैं अहमदाबाद में सबमिट करूंगा. बेंगलोर के अंदर वो रन होता होगा अगर वहां पे सीपीयू अवेलेबल है. मार्कशीट या मार्क्स जनरेशन का प्रोग्राम अगर मैंने अहमदाबाद में सबमिट किया, मेरे 30,000 स्टूडेंट्स है, अहमदाबाद में कोई सीपीयू फ्री नहीं है, तो वो प्रोग्राम दिल्ली के कोई फ्री मशीन पे रन हो सकता है. So resources, data sharing, everything was possible with the help of grid. Then came cloud computing. Cloud computing is again evolution of grid. अब यहाँ पे बिलिंग का कंसेप्ट भी आ गया कि आप जितना यूज करते हो उसका बिल आएगा आपको. So cloud computing is about accountability. Who used how much? So there was something like billing. There was another technology called virtualization technology, which was developed along with grid computing. So grid and virtualization, they became cloud computing. These are few companies. They are cloud providers. मतलब आपको खुद का क्लाउड बनाना हो तो आप बना सकते हो. जैसे मैंने भावनगर यूनिवर्सिटी में अपना एक क्लस्टर बनाया था, वैसे आप अपना खुद का क्लाउड, इन हाउस क्लाउड भी बना सकते हो. अदरवाइज there are ready-made cloud providers. You can borrow the infrastructure from these companies. Amazon, मैंने already नाम दिया है, Amazon Web Services. AWS is one of the leading cloud providers. IBM, they also have their own cloud. Google, the well-known cloud is GCP, Google Cloud Platform. VMware is again another leading company in virtualization. There is a Chinese company called Alibaba. Alibaba Cloud is a Chinese company. And Microsoft, they have Azure. Azure is a cloud from Microsoft. ये स्लाइड आपकी एग्जाम के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसमें कुछ नाम दे रखे हैं. दीज आर ऑल बिजनेस प्रोवाइडर्स और क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स. Amazon का AWS है और Microsoft का Azure है. Azure is a technology powered by Microsoft. Now, this is one trend. Cloud computing, earlier it was in very small market. When you compare 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, quarter 1 of 22, the market share of cloud computing has increased. Almost more than double. Somewhere in 18, 19, I'll share my personal experience. I used to teach cloud computing. The requirement was so huge. Even if my student know few terms related to cloud, they were getting recruited. मैं क्लाउड पढ़ाता था, तो with limited knowledge of cloud, students were recruited and they were getting very good salaries earlier days, before COVID. Even today, there is lot of demand for cloud computing professionals in IT industry. You can see the market share is increasing, and from the this bar diagram, you can see Amazon is one of the leaders in market share. Google is very good in search engine. Google is very good in AI translation services, but the cloud market share of Google is less compared to Microsoft and Amazon. This is another trend line kind of scenario. You can see Alibaba and IBM, they almost go parallel. Alibaba, although it's a Chinese company, it's not gearing up in the IT solutions area. Amazon was a leader and still it's one of the leader in cloud providers. Gradually, Microsoft is also taking up. Microsoft का Azure cloud है. Recently, I am getting lot of requirements for Microsoft Cloud as well. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के जो प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट की जो एप्लीकेशंस होती है, वो उनके क्लाउड पे अच्छी तरह से रन होती है. जैसे डॉट नेट एप्लीकेशन है या एसक्यूएल सर्वर डेटाबेस की एप्लीकेशन, जो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के खुद के प्रोडक्ट है, वो उन्हीं के क्लाउड पे अच्छी तरह से रन होते हैं. You see, Google is nearly 10% of share. So generally, I do not encourage my students to learn Google because there is less job market for Google, whereas there is more for Amazon and Microsoft. Another terminology is virtualization. This is very good for those who want to experiment with operating systems. See, virtualization is a technology through which you can install multiple OS on a single computer. We call it virtualization. Let's take the right side diagram, hosted architecture. If you look at the hosted architecture, your computer has hardware. Then you install Windows, that is known as host OS. Most of you might be running Windows OS, जिसको हम host OS कहेंगे. Above Windows, you install some software we call hypervisor, and within this hypervisor, you can install another operating system. For instance, अगर आपको Linux पे R&D करनी है, अगर कोई कहता है कि Linux आप ट्राई करो, you want to try Linux OS, what you have to do is you install some kind of hypervisor software. आपकी Windows तो ऑलरेडी होगी, उसके अंदर hypervisor इंस्टॉल करके उसके अंदर आप Linux इंस्टॉल करिए. दिस इज वर्चुअलाइजेशन सॉफ्टवेयर. कोई टेक्निकल ज्यादा नहीं है इसमें. आपका डेटा कुछ जाने वाला नहीं है. एग्जिस्टिंग डेटा विल रिमेन एज इट इज. This is another diagram. I am talking about type 2 virtualization. Type 2 means your hardware is there. Host OS means your Windows. In your Windows, you install some kind of software that is known as hypervisor. And within this hypervisor, you install guest operating systems. So type 2 is what you can do at your home. In data centers, they do type 1. डेटा सेंटर के अंदर बड़े सर्वर्स होते हैं. So there is some hardware. On those servers, they install hypervisor, some kind of software, and they directly run multiple servers on single hardware. डेटा सेंटर के अंदर टाइप 1 होता है. On single hardware, they can run multiple operating systems or multiple servers. So data centers, they generally use type 1. At your home, you can use type 2. This is a little technical for future reference. Okay, so this is my screenshot. ये मेरे लैपटॉप का ही स्क्रीनशॉट है. मेरे लैपटॉप के अंदर विंडोज है. अगर मुझे लिनक्स सीखना हो तो मैं एक सॉफ्टवेयर डालता हूं जिसका नाम है ओरेकल वर्चुअल बॉक्स. यू कैन सी टाइटल बार है ओरेकल वीएम वर्चुअल बॉक्स मैनेजर. दिस इज हाइपरवाइजर. यहाँ पे मैंने जो सॉफ्टवेयर का नाम दिया हाइपरवाइजर, one of the widely used hypervisor is Oracle Virtual Box. So that is what I've installed. And within this virtual box, I installed different Linux. देखिए मैंने वर्चुअल बॉक्स के अंदर 3 OS इंस्टॉल की, 2 लिनक्स है और एक विंडोज है. How do I use this? Suppose I want to test certain viruses. कुछ रैंसमवेयर आया, वायरस आया, वो कैसे काम करता है, मुझे कुछ चेकिंग करना है, टेस्टिंग करना है, तो अपने ओरिजिनल कंप्यूटर पे वो नहीं करूंगा. मैं वर्चुअल बॉक्स के अंदर, सैंडबॉक्स के अंदर टेस्ट करता हूँ. सो दिस इज अ कन्फाइंड एनवायरनमेंट. इफ आई वांट टू डू सम काइंड ऑफ टेस्टिंग, सिक्योरिटी वगैरह, देन आई यूज वर्चुअल बॉक्स. So I would encourage you try Linux on VirtualBox. There are lot of videos, technical help available on internet. Yeah, you may follow the internet, or else I am available through emails. So those who want to use Linux, you can download the ISO, you can install on VirtualBox. This is very safe. No data will be deleted from your existing system. There are many ways of installing Linux, but this is one of the safest way to install Linux, that is through virtualization. So how virtualization can be used on cloud? You can see at the bottommost layer there is hardware. You have lot of servers, lot of storage. That is the bottommost layer. So cloud computing, there is a kind of virtual infrastructure above which many users will be using those servers. एक बहुत ही एग्जाम्पल, सिंपल एग्जाम्पल दूं आपको, तो घर में रेफ्रिजरेटर होता है, रेफ्रिजरेटर, फ्रिज. ऑल फैमिली मेंबर्स यूज द सेम फ्रिज. सपोज I want to store, let us say, biscuits. Some other person wants to store something else. Someone wants to store milk. Then we all share the same resource. Refrigerator is shared by all of us. So similarly, whatever hardware is there at the bottommost layer, it is shared by multiple users which are at the topmost layer. This can be possible with the help of virtualization. There is no overlapping of data. Same hardware can be used by multiple people along with security. So virtualization is a promising technology which is used for cloud computing. Okay, any questions so far?
Yes, sir. Sir, this is Dr. Akhilesh from Oro University. Can we use that peer-to-peer network blockchain as we use the peer-to-peer network? How that cloud computing play an important role in blockchain technology?
Well, this is little technical. I'll try to address personally.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I can. They can email me. I'll address it personally because will be very technical. Peer to peer is another issue.
Okay,
Blockchain
sir.
is a third thing. So yeah.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Sorry, I can't explain in this platform. Yes.
Oh, sure, sir.
Okay. Uh, Generally, when we use cloud computing, it is sort of client server networking. Most of us they use client server. Peer to peer is another scenario. So I won't discuss much about client server as well as peer to peer. It is little out of scope.
Yes, sir. So at the end of the session, kindly share your email so I can
Yeah,
send
yeah.
you the code.
I'll
We
again
can
share my
discuss on
email.
that.
Yes. I'll try to share my slides.
Okay, sir.
I'll try to make it available through HRDC, and the email is also there in my slides.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, since this is online session, I don't know the background of participants, so I was in a dilemma whether to go much
Sir,
into
it is
technical.
multidisciplinary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. So I'm trying to introduce cloud computing, and I'll try to, if possible, will show some hands-on on cloud computing. It will be again like a magic show. uh, I can show cloud computing, but again it's very very technical. So let's see how much time permits. Okay, so another technology is containers. This is one step ahead to cloud computer virtualization. Sorry, this is one step ahead to virtualization. Containers. Docker is one such tool through which we create containers. Now, what is container? I'll try to explain. See, I introduced virtualization. In virtualization, we try to install multiple OS on a single hardware. You have one infrastructure or some kind of hardware. Using virtualization, we install guest operating systems. But in containers, you directly install applications. I'll give one example. Suppose you want to run multiple versions of Firefox. Suppose you want to run Firefox version 1, version 2, version 3, different versions of Firefox on same computer. So one solution can be you install different Windows, Windows 1, Windows 2, Windows 3, in which you install Firefox version 1, another you install Firefox version 2 and 3 and so on. But this takes lot of space. Different Firefox versions, you will require lot of space for each operating system. थोड़ा bulky हो जाता है. So there is another technology called containerization, containers. Without installing operating system, you can directly install different versions of Firefox on same machine with the help of container engine. Docker is one such container engine. So you can run multiple versions of single software using container engine. Again, this is little technical, लेकिन इसका फायदा क्या होता है? I'll show one. Okay, this. Usually this is rescue for developers, जो software programmers होते हैं. Suppose I am working with some company and nowadays there is work from home. So I am building some application. I might be building at my home. First is build. So the programmers, they create applications at their home. Once the application is created, they ship to server. किसी डेटा सेंटर में वो अपना प्रोग्राम डालेंगे. Servers, they might be using some other kind of infrastructure. So there are chances my program won't run. मैंने अपने लैपटॉप पे एक प्रोग्रामिंग किया और वही प्रोग्राम मुझे सर्वर पे रन करवाना है. एक दूसरी एनालॉजी देता हूं. सपोज मैंने वर्ड के अंदर डॉक्यूमेंट बनाया मेरे कंप्यूटर में. मेरे कंप्यूटर में नया वर्ड वर्जन है, लेटेस्ट वर्ड का वर्जन है, और मैं किसी और को भेजता हूं जिसके कंप्यूटर में पुराना वर्जन है. तो क्या होगा? नेचुरली इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू ओपन. If my Word document is created in a latest version, saved using latest versions, and if it is given to some other who uses older version, the document is not going to open. Similar things are happening with programmers. If a programmer has created a program using some version and it is supposed to run on different version of server, it may not run. So this entire system was made easy with the help of containers. कंटेनराइजेशन मतलब कंटेनर के अंदर बना के कंटेनर के साथ वहां देना है. सो देर आर लॉट ऑफ अदर टेक्नोलॉजीज रिलेटेड टू कंटेनर्स. दिस इज बजवर्ड ऑफ आईटी मार्केट नाउअडेज. CI/CD जिसको कहते हैं, CI/CD पाइपलाइन, कंटिन्यूस इंटीग्रेशन, कंटिन्यूस डिप्लॉयमेंट. तो इसमें बहुत सारी जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज होती है. Lot of technologies are there, and these most of the technologies, they are proprietary. तो कोई कंपनी कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करती होगी, कोई कोई दूसरी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करते होंगे. I just tried to introduce containers. We won't go into much detail of containerization. थोड़ा थियोरी बात कर लेते हैं. In cloud, there are three types of service models: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. The lowermost is infrastructure as a service, which is known as IaaS. In between, there is platform as a service, and there is software as a service. When I started my lecture, I said every one of us are users of cloud. Say, for example, if you have used Google Docs, Google Office, naturally you are an end user of cloud. गूगल की जो ऑफिस सूट है वो आपके ब्राउजर के अंदर ओपन होता होगा, गूगल डॉक्स है. सो यू आर यूजिंग सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ सर्विस. इवन दिस गूगल मीट, technically it is software as a service. My current lecture which I am delivering right now is sort of software as a service, because ultimately this lecture is delivered through Google's web servers, Google servers. So in cloud, the service can be described in three major categories: software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Software as a service के अंदर Google Doc is one such example. Those who are from programming background, you might be aware of Google Colab. Colab ऐसा है जिसमें आप ऑनलाइन प्रोग्रामिंग कर सकते हो. Google's Colab. So if you are doing online programming, then you are using platform as a service. आप Python programming का platform online use करते हो. So PaaS, that is platform as a service, is for programmers. And those who are into hardware, जो नेटवर्क रिलेटेड काम करते हैं, वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एज अ सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते हैं. सपोज गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी की ऑनलाइन एग्जाम लेनी है, ठीक है ना. अवर गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी wants to conduct online exam. Now suppose there are 50,000 students. So for 50,000 students, I have to create, let us say, 15-20 servers. Each student will log into some server and they will appear for exams on that server. So what I'm trying to build is infrastructure. If I want to conduct online exam for 50,000 users, I might need a huge infrastructure with multiple servers, multiple applications. In those cases, I'll be using infrastructure as a service. So when you use cloud, cloud can be used either as SaaS, PaaS or IaaS. सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ सर्विस के अंदर कंट्रोल बहुत कम होता है. द लास्ट, everything is orange, pinkish color, means you do not have much control on software as a service model. For example, Google Docs है. Google Doc के अंदर आप ज्यादा कुछ चेंज नहीं कर सकते. Whatever Google is providing, whatever menu or whatever features are provided by Google, you have to use those features. So that is software as a service. You don't have much control of the facilities provided by Google. Same is with Microsoft. Microsoft की Office 365 है, which is another example of software as a service. Then there is platform as a service where you can control applications and data. PaaS, platform as a service, यूजर के पास थोड़ा ज्यादा कंट्रोल होगा. Infrastructure as a service, you have more control, means you can create 15 servers, you can create 20 servers, 30 servers. So in infrastructure as a service, you can create more number of servers or you have more control. And on-premise environment means you create your own cloud. Then you have lot of control. Usually creation of own cloud is expensive. You need multiple servers, redundant power supply, redundant internet. हमने कुछ साल पहले एक जगह पे क्लाउड बनाया था. I can't name that organization. So the first requirement was we need two internet connections, BSNL and Vodafone. If there are two internet connections, then cloud will work. Another issue which we faced was we required two electric connections. electricity. Ahmedabad, we have a private company called Torrent Power. They provide us electricity. So apart from Torrent, we required another electricity provider. Usually in India, it's not possible. So if you are creating your own premise environment, खुद का cloud बनाते हो, आपके सामने बहुत सारे challenges आएंगे. So for small organizations, it's always advisable to use public clouds. Amazon, Google, ये सारे public cloud है जिसमें आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता. अगर आप खुद का ऑन प्रीमाइस क्लाउड बनाओगे, 10-15 सर्वर को करके नेटवर्क करोगे, then it becomes a costly business. Your one time investment is very, very huge. Somewhere around, let's say, 1 crore is required to create our own cloud setup. Somewhere around 1 crore, because I had a proposal for some other organization. So I know you need lot of internet, lot of bandwidth, storage, air conditioning is also needed because you are running lot of servers at the same time. It's a costly business to create private cloud. So this is what I'm discussing. Cloud can be public, private, community or hybrid cloud. Public cloud जो कंपनी आपको देती है, Amazon, Google, Azure, which is Microsoft. So these are all public cloud. Infrastructure is their infrastructure. You are just a common user. If you want to create your own cloud at your own office, in your own premises, we call private cloud. As I said, private cloud, आपके पास कंट्रोल बहुत होगा. You have lot of servers at your own place, but it is expensive business. So most of the smaller companies, they do not create their private cloud. They use public cloud. There is community cloud. Certain communities, they try to create their own cloud platform. Hacking community होती है या कुछ Linux की communities, they try to create their own cloud, which is community cloud. And combination of either of these, we call it hybrid. मतलब it's a mixture of private public or community public, then we call it a mixture, which is hybrid cloud. So these are all cloud deployment models. This is the official definition of cloud computing. NIST, NIST is a National Institute of Standards. It's an organization of US. So एक theoretical aspect से आप देखते हैं, cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. This is technical definition. So when we say ubiquitous means you can access from anywhere. Google Docs, Google की जो Excel है, online document, Excel, everything, you can access from anywhere, ubiquitous है. It is on demand. कहीं से भी, as soon as you demand, you will get in your browser. Similarly, cloud computing, it's on demand resources. Whatever you demand, you get on your computer. And it is shared pool of configurable computing resources. Sharing, I started my session with sharing, time sharing systems. So cloud computing is based on sharing idea. Your resources are shared. If you are using the resource, it's your resource. Once you submit or complete your processing, your resource goes to someone else. So sharing is there. And when we say resources, resources can be servers, storage, networks, and lot of things that can be rapidly provisioned. ये line बहुत interesting है. The second last line. See, I can create hundreds of servers in just 2-3 minutes. With the help of cloud computing, I can create hundreds of servers in just 2 or 3 minutes. So we call it rapidly provision. तुरंत ही हो जाता है. अगर फिजिकल सर्वर होता तो ऑन करने में बहुत टाइम लगता है. बूटिंग, ऑन करना, it takes lot of time. In cloud, just by a single click or just by some condition, I can start hundreds of servers. Unfortunately, I'll be billed accordingly. If I'm starting one server, they will charge, let's say, $1. If I start 100 servers, they will charge $100 per hour. Let's say the billing is there, but it can be rapidly provisioned. तुरंत ही वो चुटकियों में आपके सर्वर ऑन हो जाएंगे. So this is a formal definition of cloud computing. It's purely academic purpose. इसको no need to remember this definition. Okay, so what we do, computer science people like us, we designed such kind of architecture. This is a very simple architecture. आपका फोटोग्राफ कुछ मुझे आइडेंटिफाई करना है. We did this way back. Gujarat University, we were requesting students to apply online. So students were asked to submit their photograph. Upload करते हैं ना browser से. They upload their documents, they upload their photographs. So in COVID starting, everyone went online immediately. Students were asked to upload their photographs. Now, students may not upload in a proper way. The photographs may be slanting position, upside down. They might rotate the photograph and upload. And when we generate hall tickets, admit cards, photograph has to be in perfect position. So we created a cloud setup where once a photograph is uploaded, it is stored in some storage bucket, S3 bucket. You can see photograph goes in S3 bucket. As soon as photograph goes in S3 bucket, automatically some functions are fired. We check the orientation of photograph. We check whether it is human or whether it is some animal, because students were making fun. Instead of uploading their original photo, they can upload some other image, maybe dog's image, cow's image, cat. So we had some algorithms. We had some algorithm on cloud. We were checking the orientation of photograph. Upside down, rotated नहीं होना चाहिए. Proper image, and that too human image has to be there. So we ran all these programs on cloud. Finally, their hall ticket was generated. So suppose, just imagine 30,000 students, if they're uploading their photo, manually checking each and every photograph is very time consuming. So cloud was for our rescue. Students were uploading their images. 30,000 images takes lot of space. Again, we check each and every image through programming, whether the image is perfect, whether it's a human face, first thing, whether it is in perfect orientation, upside down तो नहीं है. तो ये ऐसा कुछ आर्किटेक्चर डायग्राम बनता है when we do cloud programming. And these all are services. S3, Lambda, recognition, these are all cloud services. Amazon provides lot of services. ये सारी Amazon की services है. Hundreds of services. That's why Amazon Cloud is known as Amazon Web Services. This is the actual picture of Amazon Cloud interface. अभी सर ने कुछ ब्लॉकचेन का डाउट पूछा था, तो आप देखो, there is a blockchain option over there. If I move my mouse, there is some blockchain option. Amazon Cloud does support blockchain. You have to explore how it can be helpful to you.
Yes, sir, I can see.
Yeah. So that's why I avoided this. It's technical.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can explore. Compute, you get computation power, you get storage, S3, EFX, these are all storage services. एक ग्लेशियर नाम का सर्विस है. ग्लेशियर मीन्स आपको स्टोर करके बार बार रिट्राइव नहीं करना है, परमानेंट आर्काइव में स्टोर करना है. जैसे मैरिज का एल्बम है, वी डू नॉट सी द मैरिज एल्बम डेली. मैरिज की वीडियोस या एल्बम है, वंस इन अ वाइल देखते हैं. तो उस टाइप के लिए जो स्टोरेज है, दैट इज ग्लेशियर, S3 ग्लेशियर. So these are different services. There are lots and lots of services. These all are provided by AWS. ये Amazon Web Service, Amazon Cloud का कंसोल है for programmers. You can see my नेम इज देयर, HJ जोशी का थोड़ा दिख रहा है. मैं जहाँ के सर्वर्स यूज करता था वो है नॉर्थ वर्जीनिया. सो सिटिंग राइट इन अहमदाबाद, आई वॉज क्रिएटिंग सर्वर्स इन नॉर्थ वर्जीनिया. सबसे चीपेस्ट है, दैट्स वाई नॉर्थ वर्जीनिया इज चीपेस्ट. Mumbai is little expensive. So if I create servers in Mumbai zone, it will be more expensive compared to North Virginia. ये डेटाबेस का इंस्टेंस है. आई कैन, सो व्हेन आई क्लिक ऑन वन सर्विस, इस पे से किसी एक सर्विस पे मैं क्लिक करूंगा तो हर एक सर्विस में मैं क्या क्या कर सकता हूँ. आई विल गेट दीज ऑप्शंस. So those who are from computer science background, they can see I can create database. My database server will be in North Virginia here. For education, Amazon had something like AWS Educate. Nowadays, it is AWS Academy. Since I am one of the contact person in Gujarat University, you can see I have logged in as an administrator. I can create my classes from AWS Academy. There is classes option, there is LMS. So what I do is I ask my students to use this LMS, learning management system. They can learn cloud remotely. No need to attend my lectures. There are good tutorials from this LMS. AWS also conducts various events. There is certification. Google also gives certification. तो उनकी एग्जाम होती है ऑफिशियल. गूगल विल गिव यू ऑफिशियल गूगल सर्टिफाइड प्रोफेशनल. AWS will give you official AWS certified professional. They conduct exams, and again it's charge based exams. I am one of the ambassador. Earlier they used to give $150. Second last line देखिए. Even today, for each student who uses Amazon Cloud, they get $100. So they can use storage or computation up to $100. Quick Labs is for those who want Google. जिनको Google सीखना है, there is quicklabs.com. You can learn Google Cloud through this website. So it seems that we are not using cloud, but indirectly all of us are using cloud computing. 1.5 घंटे के अंदर क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग बताना बहुत मुश्किल है. एक दो आगे की स्लाइड से आपको थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया आ जाएगा क्लाउड से क्या क्या हो सकता है. These are the cloud providers. Azure is from Microsoft. Cloud market. These are all slides. Ahmedabad is one of the foremost development center in cloud. सरप्राइजिंगली मुझे अमेजोन इंडिया हेड ने कहा सबसे ज्यादा क्लाउड का डेवलपमेंट अहमदाबाद में होता है, नॉट इवन इन बैंगलोर. इवन आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड. It's again a verbal, there is no documentation, but Ahmedabad is one of the foremost developing centers in cloud. That is what they said. And this is our event. Before COVID, these were the number of participants in AWS event. हम लोग हर साल एक इवेंट करते हैं. कोविड से पहले 1000+ अटेंडीज थे. और जो स्टेज पे खड़े हैं राइट साइड, दे आर ऑल माय स्टूडेंट्स हु वॉलंटियर्ड. These all were volunteers. They are my MTech students, MCA students for this event. This is a Google community. Just see, Google is a smaller community. Amazon is huge community. And mostly Google, you see the young ones. Amazon, there are a lot of senior people. As I said, CoWIN portal was created on Amazon Cloud. This is the architecture of CoWIN. It was using AWS. So if you received your SMS, if you received your certificate, everything was through cloud. So I'll try to address one question. when someone says cloud, we generally say servers, but it's not about servers. Cloud is lot of things: computation, blockchain, mobile application. Lot of things are related to cloud. So if someone says cloud server, then stop them immediately. That when we say cloud, it's not only servers. There is lot of things apart from cloud. These are some instances available on cloud. I'll skip this. These are the services. Different providers, they call services with different names. मतलब AWS, Amazon वाले जिसको लैम्बडा कहते हैं, लैम्बडा सर्विस, same kind of service is named as Azure function with Microsoft, cloud function with Google Cloud. So more or less they give same kind of service, only the name changes. सेम सर्विस, बिस्किट एक ही टाइप के आते हैं, लेकिन वो बिस्किट के अंदर कोई मोनेको कहेगा, कोई क्रैकजैक कहेगा, कोई 50-50 कहेगा. सेम काइंड ऑफ बिस्किट विद डिफरेंट नेम्स. द इवन इन क्लाउड, इफ यू create mastery of one cloud, others will be very easy. So this is kind of architecture we draw. Cloud programmers, they create such kind of architectures. This is S3 bucket. कुछ वेबसाइट आप अपलोड कर सकते हो. यू कैन क्रिएट योर ओन वेबसाइट, स्टैटिक वेबसाइट यूजिंग S3. Lambda function is very interesting. I'll give one example. What is Lambda? Suppose if you have your own kitchen, you want to prepare, let's say, dosa. Preparing dosa in your own kitchen means you require lot of infrastructure. आपके पास डोसा के लिए टाइम होना चाहिए, प्लेट्स होनी चाहिए, सर्विंग प्लेट, प्रिपरेशन के लिए जो प्लेट होती है वो नॉन स्टिक प्लेट्स होती है. You need lot of things to prepare dosa, means you need lot of infrastructure. But if you order through Zomato, it is easier. Without any infrastructure, you can eat dosa. So creating your own infrastructure, आपके खुद के सर्वर लेना, it's like creating your own dosa. Hiring from cloud is like Zomato. You just place an order and you will get those services. So there is less investment when you use cloud services. Some kind of programming is available on cloud. ये Node.js का है. Node.js is a programming language. Cloud also has artificial intelligence. So when you upload some photograph, it will try to detect the photograph कि ये animal है, particular dog, golden retriever breed है. So there are artificial intelligence or machine learning models which can run on cloud. If you upload some image, it will try to identify what kind of image it is. Here you can see there are faces. How many of them are male, female, old age, emotions. So this is machine learning, emotion extraction and all those things. So we can identify the number of humans, whether they are sad, happy. All these things can be done with cloud. So the service is recognition service. Similarly, there are translation services and lot of other services to translate, send SMS. CCTV surveillance is one of the best example for cloud. Suppose in Ahmedabad there are 500 cameras. Now monitoring each and every camera is very difficult. So what we can do is, from each camera, the video goes to cloud server. The algorithms, they will run automatically to detect who is breaking rules. If someone is breaking rules, automatically the number plate image will be taken and alerted to the traffic police. So just try to imagine the amount of data we can handle with cloud. 500 cameras from Ahmedabad. Similarly, 500 cameras from 500 different cities of India. Everything can be pushed onto cloud. So it's again a big data problem. But these all things can be done with cloud. Okay, so I like to stop here. I'm almost done with my presentation. Others are little technical. So I won't discuss all these technical jargons now. Uh, Throughout the session, I tried to introduce cloud computing, uh, how it can help programmers. That was my main focus. I would recommend to watch the movie Imitation Game. This is my first slide, which contains my email ID. It's Hardik Joshi at gujaratuniversity.ac.in. So I'm done with my lectures. Yeah, thank you so much.